Welcome back to Young America, everybody. Today we are doing a 5-minute Thursday just because of the way things worked out. We are going to record tonight, though, so we will have our normal full-length episode out tomorrow. But today I wanted to talk about following God and having faith. And I have several different verses, actually. But the first one is Psalm 31:3. It says, "For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me." And then Psalm 32:8 says, "I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye." Now, here's the deal. You and I, and this is something that I've been learning. So everything I'm telling you is stuff I'm learning and still working on. But you and I don't know the way we should go. We don't know the path. And it seems like every time we come up with a plan and we start depending on ourselves, that's one of the main things that I've learned is, self-dependence is going to lead you astray every single time. But when you depend on yourself and you think you have a plan, then God leads in the other way sometimes. And that's when you realize that you need to stop depending on yourself and start depending on Him. And the fact of the matter is, you can. Because God is our rock, like Psalm 31:3 says, and He's our fortress, He's our defense, He's our strength. We can depend on Him. We can have dependence on Him and faith in Him because He is a good God and He's going to lead us in the way we should go. It says at the second part of Psalm 31:3, it says, "Therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me." If God is our rock, then He will lead and guide. And I've been studying verses on courage this week, and a lot of the verses on courage say, "I will never leave thee, I won't fail thee, I won't forsake thee." Just because you don't understand everything that's going on or you feel a certain way doesn't mean that God is left. In fact, that's when He's carrying you and setting your feet upon a rock and taking you out of the miry pit. And then if you look over at Psalm 32:8, it says, "I," speaking of God, "will instruct thee and teach thee in the way thou shalt go, and I will guide thee with mine eye." Now, this, of course, this is just supporting our main point that God instructs and teaches and guides us in the way. But notice it doesn't say that I'm just going to give you the whole plan and show you the whole path. No. It says, "I'm going to teach you the way which thou shalt go." That doesn't mean He's going to tell you everything all at once. He's going to reveal it to you as you need to know it. And He's going to guide with an eye. If you're guiding someone, you're not going to tell them, they can't always see the whole plan. You're not always going to see the whole plan, but God knows the whole plan, and that's what you can depend on, is that God knows the whole plan. Now, another verse that's stuck out to me this week that has to do with this is 1 Corinthians 14:33. It says, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints." Now, context, he's talking about speaking in tongues and those sorts of things, and how we should, in a sense, preach with understanding. And in the case of speaking in tongues, we shouldn't, that can cause confusion if you don't use it carefully. And that's a whole nother thing for another time that would have to be fleshed out. But the fact of the matter is, God is not the author of confusion. He has the plan, and we can be content to know that He has the plan and He's going to show us the step we need to take when He's ready for us to take it. I don't know about other people listening to this, but I know I'm a planner and I like to know the whole plan. But God doesn't give us the whole plan. He just shows us the next step. So let's not be confused about what the plan is. Let's focus on what the next step is and have peace about that and do that. And then He's going to show you the next thing when it's time for you to know. God shows you things as it's time for you to know. And that's how He builds your faith and builds your dependence. It helps you depend on Him. When you finally realize that you don't know what's happening or going on or what to do about this, that, or the other thing, but God does. And that's what really matters, is that God knows, and we have to depend on Him. We can't do anything in the pride of our power. We can't do anything of our own ability or of our own will. It's God working through us as Christians. And that's just something that I've been learning, and that's something that I want to share. And it's a beautiful and freeing truth when you realize that it doesn't depend on you, and you don't have to know everything right now because God knows everything. You just have to depend on Him and have the faith to take the step that He wants you to take.